Hint, you can use. Okay. I feel a lot better the following morning. To be honest, the fact that it's intentionally disturbing, there's just something, I don't know, interesting about it. And speaking from the knives, did we take 2 today? I mean, 2 of them are missing. Good enough that I think I'll bring my purple knife today. But isn't it this one? Isn't this your purple knife? Purple color matches my hair and my eyes. Maybe it will bring me good luck. I take a moment to admire, tracing the pattern of little yellow lightning bolts in the hand with my fingers. How symbolic. I entertain myself with the spring-loaded blade. Spring-loaded? It makes it an ever so satisfying click sound when I pop it out or retract it. When I'm done playing with it, I put it in my bag and head out. That reminds me, I have to increase the text speed. And I guess I already lowered this. Just there. My good mood carries me through the day. I'm still smiling to myself as I enter the club room after school. Midas isn't here yet. Aww. I see Monica talking to Natsuki at the back of the room. Sayori approaches me. Hey Yuri, you look so happy today! Sayori's smile looks genuine, not like the usual mask she wears. Dang, I find it kinda creepy, but I'm not hiding it in a way. And she knows about Sayori. It feeds into my excitement about my plans for the day. Good afternoon, Sayori. And yes, I'm feeling quite pleased. You see, I have a gift for Midas, one that I know he's gonna love. There's a subtle change in Sayori's expression. Her genuine smile is replaced by her usual mask. The transition is so smooth I almost don't notice it. I wonder how she does it. I feel like I should be getting acting tips from her. You got a present for him? You're miserable, Sayori. Even though you just met him? Uh-oh. I was right to doubt myself today. Is it bad? Oh, no, it's fine. Not. I mean, it's really sweet of you. I'm sure he'll love it. Somehow her smile looks even faker than before. My confidence is gone. I think I'll go read my book now. I find a seat and open up my new copy, A Portrait of Markov, in front of me. But I can focus on the book. All I can think of is how much more difficult this is going to be. Should I just not give Midas the book after all? No. Now that I mentioned it to Sayori, it makes me seem weirder to not give it to him. That's a very rational thing to think about, considering the storm that's in our head. I will have to be very careful about how I present it. Build up to it slowly, so it seems normal. I'm still planning out what I'll say when Midas enters the room. After Monica greets him, I nervously approach to attempt to start a conversation. Thanks for keeping your promise, Midas. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh come on, like it deserves any slack. Everything I planned to say goes out of my head in an instant. Natsuki carries on berating Midas. I can't even focus on what he's saying, or what she's saying rather, because I'm too frustrated with her. Why does she have to be so rude and immature? I'm trying to say something important here. I can't even avoid her like I usually do. All I can do is wait for her to finish. Manga is literature! Finally, she takes a seat where she sits fuming. I guess she's gone now. We weren't even listening. I've never been as infuriated by Natsuki's love of manga as it is in the moment. As in this moment, rather. It makes me dread our upcoming poem sharing more than I already did. But I try to put that from my mind since the conversation is continuing. He helps me with busy work without me even asking, like cooking, cleaning my room. Sayori and Midas are such good friends. I guess going to each other's homes is to help out is something that normal people do. How dependable. Sayori, that's because your room is so messy, it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? And they've had adventures together. For some reason, I feel the return of that hurtful thought I had yesterday. You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. That's an understatement. Oh come, you and Midas can become good friends too. We can? It sounds like a wonderful fantasy. Too good to be true. I had never seriously considered that as an option. But I find myself imagining it again. Having a friend for the first time. And not just any friend. Midas! Someone who likes horror books and who cooks and cleans. Oh, you even value something today, you know? Oh no, how are we gonna react to this one? What? Oh wait, Sayori! No, it's too soon, I'm not ready! Me? Midas is looking at me expectantly. I'm frozen in panic. This isn't how I wanted it to go. Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind! Sorry I made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. Oh no. Oh no. My anxiety is climbing rapidly. Should I forget about giving him the gift? What do we do? Sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking. Midas gazes at me with his kind, gentle expression. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. So any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Calm down, Yuri, please! Yeah, I won't make a big deal out of it if you don't want it to be. It won't be a big deal. It'll be okay. It will be normal. Please calm down, Yuri. That reassures me a bit, but my anxiety is still quite high. Alright. Well, here. I pull out my old battered copy of Portrait of Markov out of my bag. I didn't want you to feel left out. So I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, that bit of confidence I had falters, but I have to finish the sentence. Discuss it if you wanted. The storm is rising. He's probably gonna hate me like everyone else does. Oh no, no. I had, playing the original game made me fear when music stops. And this mod is about to make me fear when a heartbeat starts pumping like a madman. It might be the moment that he decides that he never wants anything to do with me again. I'm playing with my hair again. I should stop. He's looking at me. I can't even look at him as I hand him the book. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. Now can you please calm down? Thank goodness. He takes the book with enthusiasm. He actually looks happy. My heart swells and relief washes over me. I feel I could cry tears of happiness right now. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. I think now is a good time to escape before the storm can strike again. I return to my desk and allow myself to get lost in my book. At least as lost as I can get. Having this moment to myself does help my mental state, but my mind keeps drifting back to Midas. That might have been my only opportunity to have a real conversation with him. Should I have tried to continue talking to him? No, definitely not. I was too far agitated to try. In this mental state, I typically start fantasizing about things to do with my knives. And I know it's not healthy to let my mind go there. It's never healthy. Once again, I find myself inwardly cursing myself for being like this. It's been my lifelong dream to just be normal. But right now, I think I would settle for just a few minutes of normalcy with Midas. Time passes. I'm so preoccupied with all of this that I'm not making any headway with my book. I glance around the room. Natsuki is in the closet with her manga as usual. Monica and Sayuri are having a quiet conversation together. Midas is standing at the front of the room by himself, dazed, like an idiot, and I think his pupil is a bit off. He isn't doing anything! He didn't even join the conversation with his friend Sayuri. He's so shy! Some part of me thinks that maybe out of all the people I've ever known, he could be someone I could talk to comfortably. Do I dare try? The thought terrifies me. Sorry. I had an H in the T. Still, I find myself trying to work up the courage to say something. My voice barely comes out as a croak, but it gets his attention. Our eyes meet. I freeze, my voice completely dries and dies in my throat. Panic overtakes me. I raise my book to hide my face behind it. So she's not shy. Or at least in this mod, she's not shy when she hides in her book. She's anxious and panicking. I'm messing this up. I'm so stupid. Why can't I do a simple thing like say a few words? Sorry. I was just spacing out. We were standing in front of a room. That's more than just spacing out. He actually came over to talk to me. Oh, it's fine. He said he was spacing out, maybe like the way I do. I smiled inwardly at the thought. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? It suddenly occurs to me that it was foolish to bring both copies of the book. It makes it more obvious that I purchased the book just for him! Why did I think of that sooner? I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious. How come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, I stopped by at the bookstore yesterday. No, why did I say that? Oh. There's something disturbingly but interestingly cute about how Yuri is thinking. I don't know what's getting me hooked in this mod, but Tormuse, I can say already that you're doing a great job. Or you did a great job for that matter. That's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. I've ruined it. It has to be obvious what I did now. He's giving me a strange calculating look. Probably trying to think of an excuse to leave. I'll definitely just start reading it soon. Maybe I can still salvage some portion of this. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's it about anyway? He's not leaving? Well, I close the book and pretend to look over the blurb on the back. We were pretending all this time? Obviously, I already know the answer to this question without looking, but I need this moment to try to calm myself. Alright, I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escape from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of the relationships and her life starts to fall apart. That's kind of trails off. He seems uncertain what to say. I remember that he did say that he's only ever read one horror book before, so maybe he's as unused to talking about it as I am. I can't help giggling at how much we have in common. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Midas? Why am I picturing Yuri with the crazy eyes whenever I read this? No, it's not that. I mean, I definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange perspective. When horrible things happen not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals, or their own philosophy that they believe in. Then suddenly when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be naive, or they're made out to be the naive one, or letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I think I see his eyes glazing over. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't you apologize. I haven't lost interest in anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. He's so patient and kind and understanding. Maybe he'll be forgiving of some of my unusual traits. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I ended up saying something so strange. And please stop thinking. And please stop me if I start talking too much. And I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least they can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Huh? Right now? You don't have to. What are you saying? Aww. This grin of ours it's well done, at least. Just a moment ago, you said you were looking forward to it. Let me get the book. He takes the old copy of the book out of his bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? Without waiting for my answer, he sits down in the seat to the right of mine. My feelings of apprehension skyrocket. What's happening? Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. There's no possible way I would be able to focus on my book with him getting and sitting so close to me. Alright. He opens the book in front of him, and I do the same with mine. He sat like that for a time. I can't help looking over at his copy, at my old copy of the book. I feel bad that I gave it up. Well, at least here, she's kind of like, it's not just because it's Midas reading the book, or it's MC reading the book. It's because it's her old copy. I think that's the same in the old game, but at least now we see what she's thinking. I hope he treats it well. I wonder if he would be open to trading them. But that might sound weird. But that might sound like a weird thing to ask. I don't dare bring it up. Suddenly he glances over and our eyes meet. I find that kinda... I don't know. It's a good thing that whenever we're trying to focus on a specific character, they black out the full background and it's who she's speaking that's lightened. I don't know. It gives that whole feel, I guess. I can't find the words. He saw that I was staring at him. Sorry, I was just... You don't really apologize a lot now, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean, stupid! Oh, there's our grin again. He's laughing at me! Here, this should work, right? Oh, now we're going to read together using one book. He gets up. That's it. I finally scared him away. No. He moves his desk and chair closer until they're touching mine, and then sits down. He then places his copy of the book between us. His open copy, rather. My heart feels like it's in my throat. It's beating so hard. I suppose so. I guess we're both going to be reading from his copy then. With shaking hands, I close my new book and put it away. I guess that makes it kinda difficult to turn the page. Here. I take the left side of the book with my hand. He does the same with his right. We start reading together like this. Our bodies are so close together, they're almost touching. This is very surreal for me on so many levels. I've never read with someone before. I've never been so close to someone before. And something about that fact that we're reading from my old copy of the book makes me feel like we're sharing an old friend with him. I'm sharing an old friend with him, rather. It is by far the most intimacy I've ever experienced with another human being. It's an exhilarating feeling. It makes it hard to focus on the book. Not that that matters, since I already know the whole book by heart, more or less. But I should probably at least make a show of pretending to read it. We're just pretending in this case? Are you ready? Oh, I forgot. She knows the book by heart, so that's why she's asking MC. She's asking MC if she's ready to turn the page. To turn the page? Sorry. I got a bit distracted for a second. Our eyes meet again. He looks nervous. Or am I just projecting my own feelings to him? Is he scared about what's going to happen in the book? I wonder if his heart is beating as fast as mine. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you long. A thought comes to mind. Is MC going to be romantic towards Yuri? Or is he gonna friendzone Yuri? I'm curious if that'll be a choice or the writers have made their own story. I don't mind being patient if it takes you longer. It's probably the best I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. Time passes, I still can't focus on reading. I stop trying to speak, I just let him turn the page whenever he's ready. Each time he turns the page, he brings it closer over to my side. He brings it over to my side so I can hold it with my hand. I spend our time watching his hand, watching the delicate movements of his fingers over the page. There's something sensual about it. It's strangely calming, mesmerizing even. My heart rate slows and I'm able to relax and enjoy my time with him. Somehow I never quite touch his hand when he turns the page. I wonder what it would be like to touch him. Hey Yuri? This might be a silly thought, but the main character kinda reminds me of you a little bit. What? My heart rate picks up again. I have to remind myself that we're still on chapter 1, and we haven't gotten to the darker parts of her story yet. You think so? How does she? Well, she's more blunt in a lot of ways. But she also second guesses all the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see through your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. I consider this. It's true that I identify with her. In fact, sometimes for fun, I write short stories from her perspective. We even imagine to be her in some cases, like the one I did yesterday, or the video I did yesterday. It sounds like, but this sounds like he sees me as blundering and foolish. He must really dislike me after all. I thought we were having a good time, the best time I've ever had. Oh no, here we go again. I should have known he wasn't enjoying it. I feel ashamed and guilty to have gotten so much enjoyment at his expense. I feel myself spiraling into despair. He's not going to want to read with me again like this, is he? But Midas, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. That's so embarrassing that you had to think of that. I shouldn't be saying this. I know I shouldn't. I'm just making things worse. Oh, wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant that it's kinda cute. Cute? That makes no sense. I'm not cute. Nothing about me is cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? You gotta be freaking kidding me. And where's the music? I'm used to hearing happy music when this happens. Okay, everyone. I think it's about time that we share today's poems with each other. The fact that you're staring at, like, I played Blue Skies for a long time, so I'm not really used to seeing Monica facing us again, but when the music stops, and then she suddenly pops, I can't help but feel a little bit of worry. But I guess that's all what DDLC players have to go through, I guess. I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kinda down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. I haven't, but that's not the reason I'm feeling down. It's not. It's fine. I almost put the book into my bag, but then I remembered that it belongs to Midas now. I let go of it, unable to look at it. Alright, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I think I would like to read with him every day forever. I guess I don't have much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first two chapters, in your own time. Alright. I watch him put the book into his bag. I'm very confused right now. He sounds like he wants to read with me again. Is it because he feels bad for me? Is he doing it out of pity? But no, he said reading with me would be fun. Does he mean he enjoyed it? I can't imagine that he enjoyed it as much as I did. Could I be overthinking this? I don't know how to stop thinking. I wish I did. Maybe I really should be taking what he says at face value. But that would suggest that he thinks I'm cute. How unthinkable. Suddenly my thoughts are interrupted when a piece of paper enters my field of vision. Okay, so we're gonna read Midas's poem first. Are we gonna read the others' poems too? Midas is offering me his poem. I'm at least good at reading and writing, so maybe this will be my one chance to show that I don't always look foolish. As I read through his poem, I'm increasingly surprised at how good it is. Okay, so this is presumably because we chose, or MC chose, Yuri words. Well, actually the structure is a bit choppy, but besides that, the imagery is highly evocative, and he demonstrates an impressive vocabulary. There's just one word I can think of to describe it. Exceptional. What's that? Did I say that out loud? I dropped the poem to bring my hands up to my mouth. So much for not looking foolish. I'm so embarrassed I end up covering my whole face looking away from him. I'm messing this up all over again, though, a thing I could have been good at, and I'm ruining it. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. I didn't? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? I use my nervous laughter to cover my rapid breathing until I can get it under control. I have to regain my focus. I have to show I can speak intelligently about this. I take a deep breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's such a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? I wasn't expecting that at all. I looked from him back to the poem again. This is his first time? Could he be a natural to this? Could he be some sort of prodigy? I suddenly find him very intimidating. Because not only is he wonderful at everything else, he may be better than me at the only thing I'm good at. Still, I feel a need to prove that I'm worth something. Wow. That caught me off guard. Well, I know that. I just meant, I trail off. Any criticism I can think of is going to sound pretty weak. But the structure seems like a good place to start. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. Rather. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick up a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many skill levels, or different skills rather, and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but all it takes is practice, and learning by example and trying new things. I hate the way I sound. I'm really grasping at anything I can, and I'm being so vague. I don't know if any of this is constructive. Wow. I don't know what to say, but I'm liking it so far. It's disturbing, sure, but I want more. I want to continue this. I hope I at least sound a little confident, but I think I may be going too far. I know that no one likes it that I act like a know-it-all. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased though. How? I'm tempted to talk about how simple and immature and rude she is. Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry, it's fine. You mind if I read your poem now? Please do! I'd love to share my thought process behind it. I pull out my poem out of my bag and hand it to him. When I first wrote it, I was feeling pretty good, but I'm feeling a lot less confident now. Will it be enough to impress him? I nervously watch him read it. How much time has passed? It feels like such a long time. The longer he reads it, the more anxious I feel about his reaction. Finally, he hands it back to me. I'm having trouble reading his expression. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. I'm gonna say this again. I said it a lot in past videos, but among all of the fonts of the girls, I think Yuri's is my favorite. What? I wasn't thinking about that at all. But you took a long time to read, probably because it was such a long poem. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think that your handwriting is pretty. I feel a fluttering sensation inside me. That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I feel like knots are untying themselves in my stomach. I didn't even realize how much tension I was holding there. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Huh? Oh, right, the title. You didn't really understand the poem at all then. It makes him a lot less intimidating. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Midas. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. I hope he doesn't notice that I just contradicted myself. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's just nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. Impressive! He thinks I'm impressive, I'm impressed him! I impressed him! You know, I was really nervous about doing all of this. But in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Midas. Me too. I'm still feeling breathless as he moves on to show his phone to Natsuki. Okay, so I guess we're going to see her reaction, or Yuri's reaction, to all the girls after all. And I'm guessing Natsuki's the last. So Yuri seems safe to go to next rather. She was pleasant earlier. Hey Yuri, having fun? After my dizzying experience at Midas, fun doesn't seem like the right word, but yes, thank you. And yourself? Yeah, I love that we're finally sharing with each other. Sometimes I feel like we keep to ourselves too much in here. Money has the best ideas. I can't help but glancing at Midas again as I nod in agreement. Do you want to read my poem now? Certainly. The title is Dear Sunshine. It's a very simplistic poem about sunshine in the morning. It's very literal. There don't seem to be any metaphors in it at all. Still, I should say something nice about it. You don't really think it's nice. Where do we find it funny? Still, I should say something nice about it. It's a good start. The sun is a good focal point for the theme of your poem. It's the source of all the life in the world after all. and something that everyone can identify with. But don't be afraid to add more metaphors to your work. Let your mind walk through your feelings and write down the words that come to you. In particular, that last line, "I want breakfast," is a very mundane line to end with. Sayori, please do the line justice. Please remind Yuri that breakfast is awesome. Breakfast is awesome! Well, I suppose so. In any case, with this practice, it can only mean your next work will be better. I would look forward to seeing how you improve if you ever wish to share again. Thanks, Yuri. That's really sweet of you. Can I see yours now? Very well. How will Sayori react? As she looks over my poem, her eyes light up with intense interest. This is really good, Yuri. The ghost sure sounds spooky. I sigh. Sayori isn't at all as sophisticated as I expected. I wonder if it's worth even trying to explain that the ghost is a metaphor. I also can't help myself wondering why she's the vice president and the vice president. That's very rude of us. That's very rude of us. I also can't help wondering why she's the vice president instead of myself. Even though I'm not sure of how well I would fit into that role. It isn't intended to be spooky. It's about wanting to stay in the comfort of the past. Or wanting to stay in the comfort of the past while being pushed forward into the future. Ooh, that sounds so neat! I love it! Thanks for sharing, Yuri! I smiled graciously in response. It's time to move on. I hope somebody here understands my metaphors. It almost makes me wonder if I should reconsider my choice of style. Monica approaches me next. Yet another comment from me, or side comment rather. The individual variations of the themes for the girls. I can't decide between Yuri and Monica, because I really love Monica's piano. Monica approaches me next. How are you holding up, Yuri? You surviving okay? That's a poor choice of words. I allow myself a low chuckle. I'm doing alright. I admit that I was reluctant at first, but it's getting easier. Glad to hear it. Let's get started then, shall we? Monica hands me her poem entitled Hole in the Wall. It's about... I'm not even sure what it's about. We didn't get it? I mean... It's pretty easy to find out what Monica's poems are. It's basically Hole in the Wall, and then there's the other one that I can't remember, but all of them are connected to how she's just a game, or she's just in a game, trying to reach out to us. It feels like it's full of dark hidden meanings beyond my comprehension. Beyond my comprehension. We don't even get it, oh my goodness. Well, she is the president after all. Monica gazes at me with a gentle, curious expression. What are your thoughts on it? Your use of metaphors to convey emotion is most impressive. I mean, we didn't even get it. We're dang Yuri and we didn't even get the poem. If I had to guess, it sounded like you had some kind of blinding realization of feeling trapped. Okay, we get it. Of feeling trapped. Monica raises an eyebrow. Very astute. Is that how you pronounce it? Yes. You could say that I have an epiphany recently. It's been influencing my work. Interesting. May I ask, what is the nature of your epiphany? Epiphany, rather. Sorry, Yuri, don't take this the wrong way. But it's not really something I want to share right now. For some reason, she glances in Midas' direction when she says this. Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to impose. Why do I feel like Monica and Yuri are gonna fight somewhere down the line? It's alright. It's just something I have to deal with in my own way, don't worry about it. They're either going to fight, or Yuri's going to have like her whole overthinking scenario, but instead of Sayori or Natsuki, it's Monica. She gives me a friendly smile. You can never say no, or you can never feel negative whenever Monica does this. Ah, can I see your poem now? Of course. As she's reading my poem, I find myself wondering what could possibly make Monica feel trapped. She is intelligent, beautiful, and popular. Surely there's nothing holding her back from attaining anything she wants. After she finishes reading, she passes it back to me with a bemused look on her face. Wow, you really don't like doing this, do you? Oh, no, I'm not. It's okay, Yuri, I just think it's... What's funny? I just think it's funny. You wrote a poem about how you don't want to write a poem. That's pretty meta. I respect that. Wow. She understood my use of metaphor. But now I can't help feeling embarrassed about it. I'm sorry, Monica, I didn't mean any disrespect. It's okay, really, I know this is hard for you. But Monica's impressed. You should be happy. But you're so smart, and capable, and clearly talented. You don't need to hold back so much. You don't have to be afraid to put more of yourself into your poem. The whole point of this exercise is for us to express ourselves in new and different ways. We're all in this together. We're not going to judge you. Monica raises up her point. Perhaps I was being silly and dreading sharing my poetry all along. It's a good reminder of why Monica is president. Her kind, patient demeanor helps me relax. That's reassuring. Thank you, Monica. I will definitely give that some thought. Next time, I'd like to see be a bit more daring with your writing. Next time? Yes, well, this is going so well enough. I think I'd like to do this again for tomorrow. We can discuss that later though. I think right now you have one more person to share your poem with. Here it comes. Hi Natsuki! Oh my goodness, already she's not amused. She gestures toward Natsuki, who is sitting at a nearby desk looking grumpy. Does she ever not look angry? I've been dreading this. I had been wondering if I could just avoid her altogether. But now that Monica directly pointed her out, I can't exactly do that. I start to approach Natsuki, but I can't seem to bring myself to walk right up to her. I find it much easier to just sit at the desk next to hers. I'm not sure of how much of it is because of leftover feelings of frustration, or just how genuinely nervous I feel around her. This would be easier if she would look at me. Finally, she sighs and glances at my direction. Let's get this over with. She begrudgingly hands me her poem while snatching mine out of my hand. Her gruff movement makes me feel even more comfortable than I already was. It doesn't help that she's grumbling to herself while she reads my poem. I look over hers. The title is Eagles Can Fly, and it's a short poem with a bunch of cute animals. Oh my goodness. The title is Eagles Can Fly, and it's a short poem about a bunch of cute animals. I smiled to myself while reading it. It's even more simplistic than Sayori's was. What's with this language? Did you say something? No, it's nothing. She puts my poem back on my desk with a dismissive gesture. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. That sounded a lot better than I expected. Oh, so Oh. I was about to say that she was, or Yuri was, happy that Yuri didn't say anything particularly negative. I mean, saying that it's fancy is negative, but then again, we said that it's cute, and we weren't really thinking. Or that's at least what I could see. But I wonder how Yuri's thinking process would be when she says that Natsuki's poem is cute. I should say something nice about hers too. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How could that be cute? That was not the sort of reaction that I was expecting. Did I do something wrong? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You mean you had to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but that didn't really come out nice at all. This is so stressful. Why can't you just be calm like everyone else? What do I do? Well, Sayori might have accepted my offers of help, so maybe I can try that here too. No. No, Yuri, don't. But I do have a couple of suggestions. No. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Midas did too. So based on that, I'm glad to give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, I feel particularly stung by the comment about Midas. My earlier anger is returning. Excuse me? I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. Natsuki is looking even more and more angry, but I don't care anymore. And Midas liked my poem too, you know. The fact that we're fighting over Natsuki's variation of okay everyone. It's kind of funny, but at the same time it's creeping me out. He even told me that he was impressed by it. I hold up my hand with pride at the last comment. Natsuki suddenly starts to stand up. She looks like she's trying to tower over me. But she's so short, she only comes up to eye level with me while I'm sitting down! You're so short! Natsuki, you're short. I can't help but feeling a little bit scared though. Oh? I didn't realize that you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. That's not what you're just... This is extremely uncomfortable. Why does she have to keep bringing Midas into this? I summon up all my anger so I feel less afraid. I find myself standing up too. Maybe you're just jealous that Midas appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. And how do you know that he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? I'm a little stunned. I thought I was making a meaningless display of bravado. But it's true, isn't it? She really is jealous. Unbelievable. How would you possibly think that Midas could be interested in someone like her? He's so sophisticated and she's so simple and cute. No, if I was full of myself, I wouldn't deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. She really hates being called cute. I hope my comment made her feel as stung as I do. Is everyone okay? Sayori? I suddenly notice that everyone's attention is on us, including Midas's. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as Midas started showing up. Oh no. The sudden blink. I regret recording in a dark room. Oh my goodness. Time stops. They're bigger? I bring my hands up to my chest in a futile effort to hide them. I know they're larger than those of normal people. I know everyone stares at me for them. Oh my goodness, Yuri. But I really thought they'd stop growing. The storm is rising. My head fills with unbearable thoughts. Having this brought up so publicly is so humiliating that I just want to disappear. I find myself thinking to my purple knife, still in my bag, and what I want to do with it. I have to fight with everything I have to suppress those thoughts. I don't want to lose control in front of so many people. I try to keep the hurt out of my voice. Natsuki! Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you! I don't like fighting, guys! They won't stop looking. Midas won't stop looking. He must think really badly of me by now. Somewhere amidst the storm is the desperate hope that I can convince him not to hate me. Or at least hate me less. Midas! She's trying to make me look bad! That's not true! She started it! If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point of making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out of the reader, not force themselves to have to figure it out. How do you explain that to her, Midas? Is she really still out about my poetry for her? Or is this really about her poetry for her? She's actually trying to convince him that being simple is better? Somewhere in the rolling storm within me is the desire to try to prove myself one last time. Oh wait, there's a reason we have so many deep and expensive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and the meaning of most efficiently. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Midas? It feels like it takes the last bit of my energy to get those words out. Well, it looks so comfortable. I feel bad about being impatient, but the storm is so bad. I feel like I'm barely in control. At this point, all I can do is wait for his response. And to my horror, he turns to Natsuki. I sink back into my chair. Okay, so we chose Natsuki here instead of Yuri. I sink back into my chair. I really didn't think that he'd prefer Natsuki's writing over mine. His writing is so refined and elegant, and hers is so not. Yuri. Oh, we weren't listening to what he said to Natsuki, which is most probably that her writing is good, and now he's about to tell us that her writing is also good. It takes a monumental effort to pull myself away from my thoughts to focus on him. You're a seriously talented writer. It's no secret that I was impressed. Well, But here's the thing. No matter how simple or refined someone's writing style is, they're still putting feelings into it, and it becomes something really personal. That's why Natsuki felt threatened when you said her poem was cute. I don't understand. I didn't insult her, I didn't threaten her. If anything, she threatened me. I am having trouble focusing right now. But I see that he really does prefer her over me after all. I see. I didn't notice that I'm sorry. The storm takes over. It blocks all sound. The last thing I see is Midas turning back towards Natsuki again. Oh no. I'm bent over at my desk where my face covers my hands. Or with my face in my hands. My hair hiding everyone from view. I start to cry, keeping my words over my mouth to stifle any sound. How did everything go so wrong? How could Midas like someone as hate-filled as Natsuki more than me? Does that mean that I'm somehow worse? I must be. Was it really just Natsuki's writing that he liked? Or was it something else? Maybe it was the fact that I lost my temper and drove him away from me. Maybe it's the fact that she's more reasonably sized than he likes. Her words echo in my head. I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as Midas started showing up. How does that even make sense? Wait. Was she trying to suggest that I deliberately added padding to myself? Why would I do that? Why would anyone do that? Even by my standards, that sounds like a weird thing to suggest. I wipe away my tears. There's so much in this world I don't understand. Sigh. Everything alright? I see Midas standing over me with a look of concern on his face. Monica and Sayori are also nearby, looking noticeably uncomfortable. For some reason, Natsuki doesn't seem to be in the room. It's probably the only reason he's paying attention to me now. I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I acted like that. You probably hate me now. No, Yuri, how could anyone have gotten frustrated over being treated like that? Or how can anyone not have been frustrated after being treated like that? You handled it as well as anyone could. I don't think any less of you. If he doesn't think any less of me, that probably means he didn't think of me, or he didn't think much of me to begin with. I suppose I should be thankful that he's being gracious to me. Well, alright, I believe you. Thanks, Midas, you're too kind. I'm thankful that you're a part of this club now. It's nothing. One more thing. That one thing that Natsuki said about, I would never do anything so shameful. So, what did Natsuki say? Or what thing did Natsuki say? I can't bring myself to say it. Is this about her boobs? I'm not even completely sure that it's how Natsuki meant it. Well, never mind that. I'm sure my anxiety must be showing. I need to calm myself down. I'm going to make some tea. Good idea. Make enough for more than one person, okay? Yeah. Going through the motions of preparing tea helps occupy me, but it does little to quell the storm. Midas and I sit, drinking tea together in silence as my negative thoughts surge and threaten to overwhelm me. All I can think about it is that he'd rather be with Natsuki. I wonder if I should say something, but all I can do is dwell on how miserable I am. Natsuki comes back into the room. I wonder where she was. I expect Midas to go greet her, but Monica steps in. Okay, everyone. It's just about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing poems? We didn't make up with Natsuki here. It was a lot of fun. How can anyone talk about fun when I feel so wretched? Still, I find myself casting my mind back to earlier in the afternoon. I guess the earlier part was enjoyable at least. Well, I'd say it was worth it. I just want to go home. I just want to be away from people. I feel somewhat relieved that it's about time to leave. But that relief turns to despair when Midas walks away without another word to me. He and Sayuri leave together. I guess he likes her more than me too. Oh no. The storm torments me all the way home. I walk with my hand in my bag, gripping the handle of my knife hard. It's the only thing keeping me grounded enough to completely lose control in public. Here we are, where we're most volatile. Once in the privacy of my room, I allow the storm to hit me with full force. I want to scream, but no sound comes out. I sink to my knees, the whole world fades away. No! Nothing exists except the horrible thoughts inside my head. Now I really regret that I'm recording in a dark room. One stands out above all others. I hate my breasts. They're so big and ugly and shameful. Everything about my body is awkward and clumsy and hideous. Like some kind of human train wreck. I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate myself. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I have goosebumps right now. What the You gotta be fucking kidding me. And our vision is red. Oh my god. No, please. I stabbed myself in the chest. There's blood running down in front of my uniform. Shit. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Should I pull it out? It's supposed to be bad to do that. Should I call an ambulance? No. I'd never be able to explain this. Oh my god. I am terrified to continue. I'd see all my scars. They'd lock me away somewhere. Panic. Oh my god, stop. Okay, I have to focus. The fact that the screen is getting redder isn't a sign that you're focusing. Keep breathing. I have to stop the bleeding. The knife will have to come out. The bathroom. I feel like fainting at the sight of my reflection. But I have to focus. I can do this. I'm gasping as I pull the knife out of me. Blood starts coming out of the wound faster. I drop the knife and grab a hand towel, which I press to my chest as hard as I can. I slowly slump to the floor against the wall. My thoughts continue racing as I sit there. Why did I do that? What was I thinking? I just plunged it straight into myself. I guess I wanted to punish my breast for existing? What a stupid thought. What's wrong with my brain? What's wrong with me? Why do these impulses come to me? Why can't I resist them? But I can't think of that right now. I have to think of what I'm going to do. The knife wasn't in all the way. Thank goodness. I don't think it reached my ribs. Thank God. It was embedded in the tissue of my left breast, and that's mostly made of fat. I don't think I hit anything vital. Thank God. The amount of blood coming out is scaring me though. I must have hit an artery. Are there any major arteries in the breast? My anatomy knowledge is failing me right now. I can't concentrate. Maybe because we have a giant wound straight in our left boob. I think the wound is going to need stitches. I have a sewing kit in my room, but I've never done anything like this before. Do I need a special thread for that? I don't even... Actually, you do. Actually, don't they have that surgical thread that they use for operations? I think it would need to be sterilized first at least. We need to take a bath. For that matter, I should make sure the wound is clean too. I look under the towel, which is now covered in blood. I think the bleeding is slowing, but I can't tell for sure. I'm going to have to undress to see it better. I start to pull myself out to my feet. I hastily remove my uniform. It looks like the knife went through my bra. Yeah. I think I'm going to have to take that off too. I feel like crying. I don't want to look at my vests. My hands still feel slippery from the blood as I reach behind myself and fumble with the clasp. I'm not an expert in bras, but isn't that a sports bra? That doesn't have, like, the straps in the back. When I get it open, I force myself to look away from the mirror. When I wipe away the excess blood, I can see the wound is smaller than I thought. The bleeding has slowed down to a trickle. That's encouraging, I think. At least, well, like she said, it didn't have anything vital, thank goodness. But there's only one thing I can think of to clean it. I open the medicine cabinet and pull out a bottle of rubbing alcohol. That stings, but it's the safest way to go, I guess. I used it in smaller cuts before, but I know this is going to sting a lot worse than usual. It's in our boobs. I start breathing faster again as I remove the cap. My hands are shaking as I open the bottle for myself. I angle myself so it would go inside the wound. I hesitate. Just do it. Get it over with. I need to do this. Just do it. I pour out the alcohol. Ah! Searing pain penetrates my whole body. I drop to the floor in agony. I bat down on my hand to stop myself from screaming any further. I taste blood. Tears stream down my face. I hope the neighbors didn't hear me. Oh no. Yuri. Poor Yuri. There's her bloodstained boob. That's her left side. I lie on the floor. I can't bring myself to move. All I can do is think about everything wrong with me and my ugly, ugly body. People always stare at my breasts. My classmates make fun of me for them. Every adult that I've ever met has always told me how important it is to cover them up. And that's only gotten more urgent the bigger they get. Frantic even. Even my parents, who are normally so quiet, get surprisingly vocal. Speaking of which, where are our parents? Where are our parents? Get surprisingly vocal about it. I feel shame every time I see strangers staring at them. Probably thinking about how hideous they are. They're not thinking about how hideous they are. You should just walk away as soon as they start staring at you. Walk away as soon as possible, Yuri. You're not gonna like it if you stay there. My body is all wrong. My brain is all wrong. I can't do anything right. Not even the most basic things that all normal people do. I don't know how to hold a conversation and make a friend. I'm never going to have a normal life. The thought makes me cry harder. Poor Yuri. Oh, I just noticed this right now. Her fresh wounds. Or should I say her old wounds, since they look like they're healing. I think of every classmate at school who ever called me weird. Everyone who ever laughed at me. Everyone who ever made fun of the way I talk. I either talk too slowly, or I get called a know-it-all. I'm so stupid, I can't get anything right. I remember earlier today wondering about how Midas how Midas could like Natsuki more than me. Now I feel stupid for having that thought. Of course he would like her more than me. He would like anyone more than me. I'm just too broken. I think of the time I spent reading with Midas today. It was the most wonderful, beautiful thing I ever experienced. And I know it'll never happen again. I start sobbing into the floor. On top of that, I have this disturbing habit of hurting myself and I don't know how to stop. I wanted to stop. I have to stop. I need to stop. And yet I'm lying here. I want to do it again. Please don't! Please! What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Oh my god. Yuri? Oh my goodness, Yuri! You should clean that up or get that patched. You're losing a lot of blood. That's a lot of blood. I'm so cold. I wonder how much time has passed. My parents are probably going to be home soon. The bleeding seems to have stopped. But you lost a lot of blood in the process, my god! But there's a lot of blood on the floor. I wonder how much blood I would have to lose to die from it. I don't want to die, not really. I should get up. I feel a wave of dizziness as I pull myself to my feet. I'm so thirsty. I go to the sink, willing myself not to look in the mirror again. I don't know what I look like. I cup my hands under the faucet and fill them with water. When I bring it to my lips, it looks red and tastes bloody, but I don't care right now. My movement seems to have started to trickle the blood coming out of the wound again. I think I'd better focus on sewing it up. I'm gonna need a bottle of alcohol again. But I see that its contents have spilled. Oh no. There's only a little bit of the pot left at the bottom. I take it with me anyway. I take my bras well. I know what I'm going to want it when I'm done. Wait, what? I know what I'm going to want it when I'm done. What does that mean? I see a knife too, on the floor, red with blood. I can't bring myself to touch it right now. I stagger back into my room, barely conscious of the handprints I'm leaving as I go. I look at my clock, my parents will be home soon. They always work late, the consequence of running their own business together. I pull up my sewing kit and sit on my bed. I set it on my bed. I have to sterilize the needle, probably the thread too. We're going to use old clothes threads, like, is that made of wool or cotton? I've never really looked into what it's made of. I have an idea. I go to my closet and pull out a box of vanilla-scented tea-like candles. I've used them to mask the smell of blood in the past. Oh, God. I dump the whole box on my bed and then start lighting them and placing them around the room. I'm not usually very fond of sweet things, but I like the smell of vanilla. It's very calming. I think I need that right now. I take a needle from the sewing kit and hold it over to one of the candles to sterilize it. As I gaze into the flame, another idea strikes me. Sterilize the needle with the fire, I guess? Should I cauterize the wound? Okay, then that was not what I expected to. I know the theory of it burning the edges of the wound is supposed to stop the bleeding. It would probably be faster than sewing it. But I would have to look up on how to do it. No, I have to stop overthinking things. I have to focus. I'm just going to sew it like I originally planned. I thread the needle and pour the last of the alcohol over the thread. I sit down on my bed. I use tissues to wipe away the blood around the wound. Close my eyes. This is going to be painful. I can already see. I take some deep breaths. The vanilla helps. I'm going to need steady hands for this, which is never a characteristic that we have. Inserting the needle into my skin isn't as bad. Okay. Thank goodness. Inserting the needle into my skin isn't as bad as I expected. It just feels like a series of pinpricks. After all I've experienced, I hardly feel it. It's just like sewing a hole in my clothes. Each time I put the point of the needle through the edge of the wound, it feels like progress. Each time I pull the candle tight, or pull the thread tight, the wound closes a little more. When I'm done, I can't help feeling pleased with how it looks. Once I put the bandage over it, and I put my bra back on, I feel a lot better. I think I'm going to be okay after all. Thank God. Now it's time to clean up. As I stand up, I realize that I've just left a big bloody spot on my bedspread. I look down at myself and see that there's blood all over my right side from where I was lying at. It's in my hair too. I desperately need a shower. We should have showered. That should have been the first thing we'd done. But that will have to wait. I should start on the hall leading to the bathroom. That's what my parents will most likely see first. I get a cloth and some cleanser out of the cupboard in the bathroom and get to work. I start with the bloody handprints on the walls. It's actually quite relaxing. It's remarkably calming seeing the progress. That I can agree with you, Yuri. Cleaning is satisfying. Every time I erase another drop of blood on the floor, I feel a little better. I gradually wipe out every little bit of red between my room and the bathroom. Pretty soon the hallway is looking as clean as it ever looked, and the smell of cleanser covers the smell of blood nicely. Now for the bathroom. The pool in the middle of the floor is going to be tougher. I look at my discarded uniform on the floor, also covered in blood. There's a hole clean through the blazer, vest, and undershirt. I can't help feeling impressed by the sharpness of the knife that had penetrated so many layers of clothing so easily. I get the plastic garbage bag from under the sink and throw my uniform in. Suddenly I hear noises coming from downstairs. Oh no, they're here. Panic sets in as I realize that my parents are home. Damn it, I'm not ready. Some small part of me admonishes myself for cursing, even though I didn't say it out loud. There's still a lot of blood to be cleaned up on the floor, not to mention all the blood all over my body. What do I do? What do I do? I close the bathroom door. I take some deep, steadying breaths. As long as they don't come in here, I'll be fine. I'm just going to have to move a little faster. Did I close the door to my room? I can't remember. I hope so. I'm not going to go out to check now. I have to hope that they don't look in here. Or don't look in there, rather. I start the water running in the bathtub. If I'm taking a bath, it gives me an excuse to be here for a while. When it's filling up, I use the towel that I've been using earlier to suck up the blood on the floor. I alternate between wiping the blood and wringing the towel out into the sink. The fact that I have to do it more than once makes me feel increasingly alarmed at how much blood came out of me. So much red everywhere, it's really getting to me. And with a bit of work, I'm able to get the bathroom spotless again. I then throw the towel in the bag with the uniform. I'm thirsty again. Which I guess makes sense considering how much fluid I lost. I just drank straight from the faucet this time. I'm beyond caring about that indignity of it. I think it's time to clean myself up. And now that I think about it, a bath would be really, really nice right now. I feel the water with my hand. It's pleasantly hot. I'm suddenly conscious of just how cold I'm feeling right now. As I finish undressing, I notice that even my panties have blood on them. Blood everywhere. How did it come to this? I'm not going to try to think of just how weird my day has gotten. I throw my underwear into the garbage bag. I'm careful to keep the wound above the water. I have a feeling that it would be bad to get it wet right now. That's good reasoning. I sit back in the tub and close my eyes. I let the heat of the water saturate me. It feels cleansing, rejuvenating. I start to think that maybe, just maybe, I can make a fresh start at things. Today was quite terrible, there's no doubt about that. But I feel like I learned something important. From my whole life, I've witnessed people around me forming friendships and relationships, sharing experiences with each other. And I long ago made peace with the idea that those are just things that other people do. And best, I could only experience it vicariously through the characters in my books. But what if it's not true? My experience with Midas today was incredible. It was beyond description. Something I never thought that could possibly have happened in my life. And well, it's possible I've ruined any chances of happening with Midas again. Or that happening with Midas again. But it still served as proof that those wonderful experiences exist and that I can have them. That's a bit of hope from us, which is nice. Maybe I should stop thinking about Midas. Maybe I should focus more on myself. Every day when I come into the club, I spend my whole time sitting alone, reading my books. I don't interact with anyone. Well, except for one disastrous time, but I'd rather not think about that. I've been keeping myself to myself every day for months, ever since Monica formed the club. Maybe it's about time that I try reaching out to others. Aww. Thank goodness, Yuri. Maybe it's time that I try expressing myself more. Maybe I don't have to be alone any longer. Monica and Sayuri are good people. Maybe they could be good friends. Maybe even Natsuki too. Aww. Go for it, Yuri. Thank goodness of us. Well, maybe not actually Natsuki, but Monica and Sayuri for sure. My mind fills with possibilities. There are beautiful experiences out there that I can have them. I can have them for real, not just in my imagination. I smile at the thought. The future looks bright. I open my eyes. The bathwater is tinged red. The present, however, still needs some work. Sigh. I'm so exhausted I feel like I could fall asleep right now. But I know that would be a bad idea. It's time to start moving again. After cleaning myself up the best I can, I force myself to get up. I feel weak. It feels like it's taking all my strength to stay upright. I realize how hungry I am. And all things considered, it's probably really important for me to eat something to help get my strength back. After I wrap a towel around myself, I find it pleasing to watch the red water go down the drain. It feels like it's taking all my problems with it. I wipe down the tub for good measure, and check on the uniform. Mercifully, the bag has not leaked. All the blood stayed inside. That just leaves the knife, still exactly where I dropped it earlier. The thought of all my trouble tonight, or the source of all my trouble tonight. After a brief moment of consideration, I pick it up, track the blade, place it in the garbage bag. I cautiously open the door and peer out into the hallway. Sounds like my parents are in the kitchen downstairs. It's going to be awfully strange if I go outside carrying a bag this late in the evening. In any case, I need to go to my room first. As I enter my room, just looking at all the blood still to clean up makes me feel exhausted. It's on the floor. It's on my bed. I don't think I have energy left to deal with any of this right now. I think I'll have to wait until tomorrow to deal with my uniform. I set the bag to the floor. I'm starving. I wonder if it's safe enough to get a snack from downstairs. I could do with some tea too. I should put on my pajamas to consider what to do. I don't know how long my parents are going to stay up. I don't know if I could wait for them to go to bed. They typically don't pay much attention to me, but I still don't want to risk them noticing anything unusual. As I finish dressing, I put my hands up to my face and sniff. I still smell blood. I wonder if I'll ever get the smell out. I've had an occasion to wonder, rather, if people at school smell it on me any time I cut myself. No one has ever said anything about it, but I can never be sure. Then again, normal people probably don't even know what blood smells like. In any case, I feel like I should do something to mask the smell of if I'm going downstairs. I have an idea. I look at the closet. I try to keep things organized in here, but I know I'm going to have to do some digging. A bottle of perfume. I finally found what I'm looking for, a bottle of perfume. It was a birthday gift from last year. Or was it the year before that? I don't even remember who gave it to me, some relative? An aunt? Or an uncle? I don't see much of. I've never really seen the point of it. It's just one of those things that girls are expecting to use. Well, maybe I'll put it to use today. After a bit of fumbling, I figure out how to spray it on myself. It's a pleasant, sweet, flowery smell. Actually, something about the smell makes me feel a little energized. I feel like the last of my hesitance about going downstairs has slipped away. I check my reflection one more time. I look a little pale, but otherwise fine. I think I can do this. As I enter the kitchen, my parents don't even look at me. My mom is sitting at the kitchen table reading a book. My dad is behind the kitchen counter. He looks like he's preparing a snack before bed. He's blocking the way to the kettle. I wait patiently behind him for him to move. I could probably just ask him to move, but I don't trust my voice right now. Besides, it always feels strange breaking the silence in here. Eventually, he steps aside to join my mom at the table and I start preparing my tea. They still don't say anything to each other. I wonder if they talk to each other while they're at work. While I'm waiting for the water to boil, my eye is drawn to the loaf of bread that my dad was cutting from. I could really do with some bread and butter. Probably not the most nourishing choice, but I think it's all I would manage, or I will be able to manage right now. I gaze at the bread knife. I hesitate about picking it up. This is the knife that started it all. Ooh. We used the bread knife to cut ourselves first. The first one that I cut myself with. I think I hate it right now. I may never be normal, but that habit has caused me even more trouble than anything else. It's a useful tool. Anyways, and I'm hungry. I pick up the knife and start cutting the bread. As the knife enters the bread, images come into my mind of the bread entering other things. I force myself to look away as I'm cutting, trying to control my shaking hands. I look at my parents still sitting at the table, still calmly oblivious to anything unusual happening. In some ways, it's refreshing that I don't have to try so hard to pretend to be normal here. It doesn't matter how I behave because they don't notice me anyway. At that moment, some part of me wants to cry and scream at them. But let them know that their daughter almost died today. Sometimes I wish I could have some kind of relationship with them. That we could talk. That I could tell them about my day in school. Or about the Booker meeting. That they could teach me things like how to make friends. It wouldn't fix everything that's wrong with me, but it might make some things easier. The fact that our parents are kinda ignorant of us, and kinda ignoring us, sorry, that wasn't the right word, are ignoring us, that just makes this mod even darker. Oh my goodness. I turn back to the counter, finish preparing my snack, and get ready to go back to my room. I hesitate. I think back to how I felt in the bathtub, about wanting a new beginning. Maybe I could start here. Maybe I can try talking to my parents for once. I turn to them. They don't look up. I can't do it. I turn away and hurry back to my room. Well, maybe my new beginning can start tomorrow. I close the door and take a seat on my desk. Once I've had a bite to eat, it eases the dizziness and lightheadedness I'm feeling. Perhaps I'll get started on that poem for tomorrow. As I pull up my notebook and pen, the first thought that pops into my mind is to write about my cutting habit. Now that's a bad idea. That's a very, very bad idea. Why would I even think about that? I know I want a new start, but I'm not remotely ready to talk about that. Still, I think back to what Monica said to me earlier today. She said that she wanted me to be more daring with my writing. And that we're all in this together, no one will judge me. I don't know how much I really believe that. I suspect that Monica might think differently if she knew the truth about me. But the more I think about it, the more I think this could be good for me. This is a habit I really, really want to break from. Maybe talking about it would help me with that. With that in mind, I start to write. I choose my words carefully. I don't write anything that will directly give it away that I'm talking about cutting myself. I end up choosing to use a raccoon with a metaphor of self-harm. It seems fitting. Finish the poem and write the title, The Raccoon, at the top. I look over at it one more time to make sure no one can guess what's it really about. And if they ask, I could just speak generally and say it's about unusual habits. Or an unusual hobby. In any case, I'm feeling quite satisfied about it. I think it's time for bed. Right. Looking at the bloodstained blanket and sheets makes me feel exhausted all over again. How bad could it be? Or how bad would it be if I just don't bother changing them? Right now, it feels like even just sitting here is taking too much energy. And there's still a lot of blood on the floor too. Sigh. I really don't want to lie to the bloody sheets though. Or to lie on bloody sheets. I go to the closet and pick out a fresh sheet set. I just keep telling myself that this is the last thing I need to do. Everything else can wait tomorrow. I pull the sheets and blanket off the bed and toss them in the heap of the floor. But I'm only halfway through replacing them and I finally pass out.